From the Standing Stone Farm Studio right outside downtown Nashville, it's time for the most ridiculous sports podcast in the world. So sit back, relax, and listen as Bobby Butler and Brandon Bond crack open a cold one and talk all things hockey, pop culture, and complain about everyday situations. It's the Pucks Out Podcast on the Penalty Box Radio Network.
Welcome into the most ridiculous podcast in sports and pop culture. I'm Bobby. He's Brandon.
Heyo.
You can find us on the three majors of social media at Pucks Out Pod. Now let's crack open this cold Mayday beer and let's get after it. Pucks Out is powered by Mayday Brewery, the official beer of Pucks Out Podcast.
It was a good live show.
It was
this
a
past
good,
weekend.
Yeah, as you might realize, it was a great live show. And this Saturday, August,
can we crack the beers though?
Let's crack them. I got the Angry Redhead.
I am drinking Daddy's Money. So
that's a good beer.
This is.
I've also got a growler of this out there that I'm going to take it home. But this Saturday, August 21st, it is hot chicken and jorts from 2 to 10. So come on out to Mayday Brewery in Murfreesboro for some great beer, live music, hot chicken, axe throwing, and some cobbler.
Oh, you can't forget the cobbler.
So dress to impress with your jorts and come out and get crowned king of the trailer park.
That is so unfortunate that we will not be able to make it because my short jorts are a crowd hit. Okay, where
I don't have any short jorts, but I would make some. I've got plenty of old jeans that are now too big that I would definitely cut up.
Well, this was in the day of they weren't super skinny, but they were a little tighter pants, and I grew out of them, and so I just made them into jorts. And when I say that I have to tuck in the boxers, that's how short they are. Like we're talking, I get a pretty high, I wear pretty short shorts and have a nice thigh tan, but even then I still got probably a foot gap of white leg.
Yeah, but we are super excited to announce Mayday as the official sponsor. Great people. Ozzy, great guy. Everyone there is super nice. They were super welcoming to us and Justin Bradford. Thanks again to Justin Bradford. That episode was released on Tuesday morning, so go over and listen to that. How are you this week, bud? I
am doing great, man. I'm assuming for how are we doing this week, we're going to talk a little bit about the live show. We kind of mentioned a little bit. What a great time. I know you've just said this, but what a great time they showed us. Great food, great beer, something for everybody. I am very pleased to have Mayday as a new sponsor. I'm excited that he was excited. We killed it. The Beerside chat was really awesome. We had a great time doing that. You got to do a little bit of work, right? They put you to work.
They put me to work right away. But that will lead into our other big announcement that we are super excited for, and we'll be getting to work on that soon.
We're going to talk about that in the main section.
About that in the main
section. We can't release all our cards.
Can't blow the load too quick.
But yeah, as far as what else is going on, moving, got all that good stuff. I'm a pool guy now, so got off work yesterday, was drinking a beer, having to deal with pool maintenance and such. And I'll talk a little bit more about the downfall of that. And it's probably not what you think, but doing good. We already had the pool day planned for this coming up Saturday. So that's why we'll miss hot chicken and jorts. But two of my favorite things, I'm very sad we're gonna miss that. But we had a good time after the show, grilling and chilling here at the pool. So I hope you enjoyed it.
Some great burgers, some great hot dogs.
Yeah. We blew it out that day. So what about you, man? How are you doing?
Good, man. Just been busy. So, obviously had the live show. Then just been had a lot of editing to do, for podcast for my other day job. So just been on the computer a lot, just getting stuff done, but excited to be here, excited to talk some hockey. Don't forget to check out What a Maneuver and Patreon to support the show. Let's hop straight into the news.
Everything you need to know about what's happening on the ice. It's time for news from inside the boards.
What we did not mention to the folks at home was the type of beers that we're drinking.
Oh, yeah. I got the red ale, which you can probably figure out from the name.
It's red ale?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And the Daddy's Money is the hazy IPA. Yeah. And it's a little heavier than most of their beer. I love this beer, man. I think it's great. I also like their Inner Sanctum IPA. So maybe next time when you stop by, you'd be like, "Hey, my boy is up with that Inner Sanctum."
But all righty, let's hop into it. UC Soros signs 4-year, $5 million AAV deal with the Preds to avoid arbitration. We talked a little bit about that on our beer side chats, so that kind of spoils a little bit. But this is great. This is a great deal. This to me is a discount for a guy like UC Soros. He is going to be the premier goalie for them. Hopefully, in a couple years, he'll start splitting some time with Askarov. I like this. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, a goalie that performed very well in the playoffs, just losing Pekka from a storied career. And we weren't too sure if Saros was going to be the guy. And it looks to me as though this past season has shown that he can be the guy. We're happy to admit when we never said he wasn't the guy. We just weren't sure that he would be. I think you summed it up perfectly. It was a good deal for both sides. Probably a better team deal than it was a deal for Saros. If he went out in the open market, he probably could have got a little bit more. But I think he likes it here in Nashville. With the opportunity of potentially being on the Pucks Out podcast at some point, I think that he definitely wants to be here, and we want him here. So I think it was a great deal all around. Nothing much more to say about it. And personally, we've talked use quite a bit over the past year. So,
all right. So the starting next season, NHL teams will have ads on the front of jerseys. I believe it'll be 3 inches by 3.5 inches. So
that's what she said. Yeah. Boom, boom, boom.
Starting off, just as a warning for fans out there, this does not mean that your ticket prices will go down. I'm seeing that a lot on social media. People saying, "Oh,
it's just extra money."
Yeah, this is extra money revenue for the owners.
Maybe your jersey prices will go down. They will not.
Maybe all of that is supply and demand. Tickets are supply and demand. They will charge you as much as they think they can charge you.
You know
that
there's
stuff.
Not a flat price across the NHL, right? They're all different prices set by the organization themselves. We've talked about ads on jerseys. I don't care. I don't care. Look, I
don't watch it for the now. I will be curious to see if the jerseys they sell in the team store will have those same ads on them. I know, like in Premier League and stuff, they do. Is that something would that something deter you from buying a jersey if there was a specific ad on there?
No, honestly, it's really gonna dampen my buying fake jerseys that don't have them. Yeah. People are gonna be like, "Oh, it's fake. You don't have the you don't have the Pucks Out podcast advertisement on it."
Now,
have they contacted us about this yet?
Yeah, they didn't offer enough though.
Oh, okay.
They only came at us with a couple 6-packs. We are at least double digits.
It's
for
like
that.
we're sponsored beersmen at this point. Okay, so we're gonna need a little bit more than that. I like how they're paying us for the sponsorship, and we're not paying them.
Lucky.
Yeah, exactly. Like, come on, guys.
We offer legitimacy to that league.
We're a staple here.
When people think
the Nashville
NHL,
community.
they think Pucks Out.
That's the first thing.
And it wasn't even the Preds. It was Montreal that came to us.
They think when they're like, nobody's Gary Bettman's boss. Well, except for Bobby and Brandon, obviously. And George Clooney, of course.
Yeah, old Cloons.
The old Cloonsters, because that's what we call them.
I sent you last week the soundboard, the George Clooney soundboard. I forgot to get that set up for this week.
Yeah, well, way to go. Yep. So I
Bailed
guess you're not Gary Bettman's boss anymore. It's just me and the Cloons. Okay.
All right. So Blackhawks Hall of Famer goaltender Tony Esposito has passed away last week, age of 78. An absolutely storied career. He was the innovator of the butterfly technique. That is a loss.
He created butterflies.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So that is a loss felt around the league. An all-time great, clearly. Here's to his family. Here's to his storied career. let's jump to outside the NHL.
Now that you know what's happening inside the boards, time for the rest of the headlines with news from outside the boards.
Tim Tebow released by the Jags. Could have seen this one coming. He was trying to play as a tight end. The only clip I saw, I believe he had, he was 1 for 0 receptions for 0 yards, and
he was 0 for 1.
0 for 1, yeah.
1 for 0 would be amazing.
Yeah.
He has caught infinitely more balls than were thrown to him. I am baffled by this. I cannot believe the guy that hasn't been playing football for how many years? 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
Is now still not playing football.
Yeah. And for those of you that thought that he might become a starter, here's all I got to say about that.
You two are just dumber than a bag of hammers.
Got it. Found it.
I would honestly say that is you're denigrating Hammer, because I feel like hammers are smarter than those people that thought he was going to be a starter. He was
never going to make a team. Let's be honest. Not a tight end.
Yeah. I mean, it's Urban Meyer. Okay.
Yeah.
Urban Meyer is the definition of clickbait. Okay. He just is the human form of clickbait. And that's why he does that kind of stuff. I mean, I am very interested. I hope that I normally hope this, but I now hope it 10 times more. I hope the Jags crash and burn, because Urban Meyer is a bane on society. Okay. I feel like that is something, the whole country is politicized right now, but I feel like that's something that most people can get on board with, is that Urban Meyer is the scum of the earth. Okay. And if you don't agree with that, then you're a Florida or Ohio State fan, and nobody cares about your opinion anyway.
What a take.
That was hot, wasn't it?
Yeah. Not a hot take, because a lot of people agree with you. That was just hot coming in.
I'm burning with the passion of 1,000 suns over here, Bobby, because when you brought up my mortal enemy, Urban Meyer, I'm just wondering how long it's going to take for his health issues to return. Do you think it's going to take an 0-16 season for it to happen?
I think it's going to take him wanting to get out of a contract.
Yeah. I mean, the guy, he's going to have so much stress.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, this will be the only time I believe it, though, because Jacksonville's got to be a stressful place. You're required to wear jorts 98% of the time. I mean, that's tough. You're required to have a handlebar mustache, i.e. Minshew. Talking Jags, though, since
now,
we
will
don't
not deal with any Gardner Minshew.
I wasn't hating. I was just saying he had a handlebar mustache.
But it's not
like
required.
Minshew.
I mean, they made the law because of him. It's the Minshew law.
It's new. Everybody knows it's new.
Yeah.
That went straight to the top of the deck of the Florida legislature.
Imagining Trevor Lawrence with a handlebar mustache.
Can he even grow one?
Great.
Can he even grow one?
Because I'm picturing it's like a dark black handlebar mustache with his long blonde hair, and it's not great.
Yeah, it would probably be
it's
blonde.
Like when people play like an RPG and they make the most ridiculous character they can, like in Fallout. That's what you would get if you mix Trevor Lawrence and Gardner Minshew into one.
Like I can just see him at his press conference, and it's like a cutscene in a video game when you have a custom character.
Yeah.
Like everything's normal, and then it's the guy with like the big hat and like the curly handlebar mustache. I'm intrigued to see. I hope he does it. If we're being honest, I mean, I would leave Minshew as my starter, despite the number 1 overall pick from Lawrence, forever, until Trevor was able to grow a mustache like that. That's just that's personally. That's me. That's not a Jags hating.
Oh, for some reason I thought you were talking about like on your fantasy team. I was like, that is quite that's
a bold statement.
Yeah, that is I
would never draft either of those guys. I would never draft either of those guys. Those are waiver wire acquisitions.
I think I picked up Gardner Minshew in
like picking him up. Well, it's a dynasty league too. You never know. And
I think even when I took him, I was like, well, this will be funny. And I was like, oh yeah, this actually panned out a little bit.
It really panned out. Yeah. The funny joke pick that people pick is always that. Okay. It
was kind of like 3 years ago when I snagged Adrian Peterson with the very last last pick in the draft. I was like,
and he ended up being okay. Yeah. Didn't win you a championship, but hey,
last pick, worth it.
Let you.
The way I see it is, if you get me more than 30 points this season as my last pick in the draft, I'm okay with it.
Right. I mean, I basically
he scored
last pick,
6 touchdowns that season.
The last pick is fodder. Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're worth your salt in anything, you should not even be drafting a defense or a kicker at all. And you should be drafting other skill positions and then dropping those right before the season starts.
Or join a league without a kicker or defense.
Well, dynasties, I mean, it's no big deal. I mean, not that you've ever been a part of a great dynasty yourself, because I've run the dynasties myself, but I can see how you can look at me and think, oh, that would be fun one day. I love inside jokes. Would love to be a part of one someday.
All right, moving on. The final 8 Washington football team names have been released. Apparently, they are currently down to the final 3, but they are not public. So,
didn't you read an article?
It was
where
it was like they said they were going to
bleep them.
Yeah, it was like here they are. According to the video, they are bleep, bleep, and bleep. It's like. Okay.
I think the Washington Bleeps would be dope, though.
Yeah.
That'd be a dope name.
Not bad.
But they don't even say bleep. They just actually use the bleep noise.
Yeah.
On the Washington bleep.
Get real annoying in press conferences.
Would it, though? Is anybody watching Washington press conferences? No one's watching them.
Speaking of, did you see that absolute, you're not on social media, but there was some absolute craziness with Ron Rivera, where, because, he survived, Riverboat Ron beat his cancer. So the fans and a bunch of alumni from the team pitched in and donated a bunch of money in his name and got him these really cool autographed boxing gloves and with a bunch of cool art on them, like his face on them and the Washington football team logo.
Who autographed them?
I didn't see. I don't think that
was it. Just him? He
Maybe.
Signed them.
I think it was his autograph. Yeah, and the guy who did the art, so they were given to him and he was super excited. He said thank you to the guy who gave it to him. He said, "This is amazing. I love this. Thank you so much for donating money." And the guy who did the artwork was like, "Oh, well, it seemed. I guess I wasted my time and effort making this. If I'm not even gonna shout out." And everyone's like, "The hell you talk like, dude? What?"
So he's obviously not some big name that we're talking about. It's just some guy.
Yeah, apparently some artist. Well, it's a well-known Washington D.C. sports artist.
That would
but
be
either
like
way, he got and so
that would be
Ron Rivera went on Twitter. He was like. Apparently, I've because I've been called out by one of our fans for not thanking. I do want to go and he was super passive aggressive at it, but obviously he's not going to come out and give him the finger. But the alumni who did give him the boxing gloves, he was like, "I'm embarrassed for this guy. Yeah. What a scrub!"
Yeah,
and just went after him hard.
That would be like us next week when UC Soros doesn't call us. Talking about how we're excited he got the contract. If we were just like, "Wow, use okay." You're now our mortal enemy, and we hate you. I cannot believe that he's not appreciative that 2 guys that are now on the up and coming. I mean, not that we weren't already, but now we got beer that is just being, "Hey, here's beer, buddy. Drink it." UC Soros, a guy that just made $5 million a year for 4 years, can't even say, "What up, guys? Appreciate it." I'm done with him.
So, anyway, back on topic. Here are the 8 team finalists. Now, there were 40,000 submissions that they went through. They are the Armada, Brigade, Commanders, Defenders, Presidents, Red Hogs, Red Wolves, and Washington football team.
Okay. We know what both of us want. Obviously, we both want football team. We were not excited about it, and we ended up being excited about it. But let's say they pick a name.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? What do you like?
I like
this
Red
group?
Hogs.
Okay.
Mainly because
I do not. But
so being a Washington fan, that has history there. The Hogs. There was a group for the last since I was going to games, since my dad was going to games. Probably since the 80s, there would always be a group of guys wearing pig outfits, but in dresses.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like the thing. So I think the Red Hogs is a cool shout out to tradition. I think it's a cool name.
Do you think they'll exclusively draft Arkansas Razorbacks from this point forward if they choose that? I get that. I'm not a Washington guy, so I don't know
Red
their
Wolves
traditions.
Isn't bad. The rest are so I don't know. Armada, Brigade, Commanders, Defenders, Presidents. It seems like something that you would have an option for on a video game.
Fake games. Yeah, I do like the Armada though. I'm thinking
Armada's
the Washington
not bad.
Armada.
Of those, that's not bad. It just seems like something out of the Replacements.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not
Yeah.
not denying with you.
What
But
was-
so do Red Hogs and Red Wolves to me.
Yeah.
Obviously, football team.
I think Washington football team is the best option.
The best
Because being the only one
option.
with that, and like maybe like I think that's cool. Like there's a reason why many, soccer teams do it. Like I think it's very simple, to the point. Like you can still have like, I mean, it's cool.
Yeah, you can get a
It doesn't
mascot.
it doesn't
and-
limit you to saying our mascot has to be a pig or has to be a wolf
Yeah, I agree. I like
or it has to be a
and it's-
creepy lifelike
it
Ronald
was-
Reagan mascot
It
uniform.
was so. George Washington's walking a foot. Is that Martin Van Buren?
It's not. It's literally just like a dude in like a mask. It's not like a big mascot. It's just like a dude on the
It's
sideline
just like
in
a guy.
suit.
It's like a guy with one of those hyper realistic masks.
They have to pick like each week a different president though, and like a super like is that James Garfield?
Yeah, is that Martin Van Buren that you've chosen?
Oh,
this year?
Ulysses S. Grant, but he's not wearing a uniform. He's wearing a suit, which means it's the president
He's
version.
President Grant, not General Grant. Yeah, I don't like the presidents at all. I think you need to steer clear of that.
Yeah.
Because then half the country hates you whenever a new president.
Yeah, every 4 years you got your fan base changes.
Right, yeah, it's like a roll in. Like but then they may choose that just because the other half of the fan base is going to buy jerseys to
What
burn
if they
them.
don't? What if it's actually presidents in brackets, and every 4 or 8 years they actually change the name to the last name of the president?
So it was so the last 4 years it was the Washington Trumps, and then now it's the Washington Bidens, and then it'll be the Washington Bonds, because I'm running. No, I do like the football team, but if I had to pick between the generic names, the Armada.
I would like Armada
the
more if it was like
Defenders.
more like in Annapolis or somewhere, like where they're like on the
Sure.
coast. I think Brigade. I don't know. Brigade seems like they can just wordplay that into being offensive. But
the thing is, none of them are awful.
yeah,
If they picked any of the 8 of these, none of them are completely horrendous.
yeah. Well, what's the new Cleveland one coming?
The
Guardians. Still
the
not
Guardians.
That just seems. I don't know.
It's very soccery. You said
Yeah.
it. You said it. I don't think we ever really talked about it.
No.
But the Cleveland Guardians, you were completely right in saying it sounds like a soccer team name.
Which is like, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing inherently wrong with it. I don't like.
they
hate
chose
it.
it. They chose it, and I told you this as soon as they chose it. They chose it so they only have to change a portion of their signs because the IANS at the end of the old Indian signs. They're like, no, I am
The
not.
sign maker's gonna be like, it's a metal sign. What do you want me to do? It's just the paint. Like, I'm gonna make you a
It
new
would have
metal
been even
sign.
better if they would have just been the Cleveland Ians.
Or they just went with something just as offensive.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's not
let's
make
not-
suggestions,
Yeah.
but
Let's
just
see, what
in
are
your
some-
mindset at home, think of something just as offensive. And they really changed.
Let's do a draft of
nothing.
offensive team names.
Let's do it. Let's just start throwing slurs out there.
Atlanta Falcons, first NFL team to reach 100% vaccination status. I am very surprised, to be honest, that the NFL teams are not, that this is taking this long. Like, I don't understand why these NFL teams aren't like, hey guys, just go get it done. Like, it's required. Like, I don't understand why it's not required. Like, why coaches are not requiring.
I saw that Kirk Cousins is an anti-vaxxer, and he made like a comment of like, if I catch it and die, I die. But we don't have to worry about anybody catching anything from Kirk Cousins is the thing. That's the thing. That's what he's saying. He's like, don't worry about it. Nobody can catch it from me because I don't have things and toss things out there that people can catch. So, but yeah, it is crazy to me. Like it's even if no matter your vaccination viewpoint, we're talking about a sport in which the average life is very low because of hits to your head. What do you think is going to happen? Like, you're not going to be able to potentially talk in a couple years, and you're worried about. I just don't get it either. And it's really honestly interesting to me that the Atlanta Falcons were the number 1 team to finish up. Like nobody saw that coming.
Yeah, I would be interested to seeing like what happened if they were just straight up told to, or if there's like an actual. I guess when you're sitting in traffic for 6 hours, you're like, I guess I'll just go ahead. I'll pull off on the exit and get it done.
Do. That's what they do.
They send people out on the windows on the interstate,
and they give them a fast pass if they get vaccinated.
Honestly, we may have just like we just fixed
Atlanta traffic.
Yeah. I mean, well, we didn't fix the traffic.
The fast lane though is just going to be filled up with people that got vaxxed up, and it's actually going to take longer than the regular. But we did, yeah. I mean, I think just in big cities where they have traffic, they should just go and be like, look,
build the bullet train like they were already like they need to, and they just only vaccinated people can ride it.
Build bullet trains.
I'm in. Point one.
I'm interested.
There. Yeah,
I'm interested.
Muhammad Ali. Oh, well, speaking of people getting hit in the head, Muhammad Ali's grandson has his pro boxing debut wearing his father's shorts, and he wins by TKO. That was cool to see.
Sick.
It was the white shorts with the black stripes that from the infamous, I believe, when he knocked out, was he standing over Joe Frazier or Joe Lewis?
It's in the article. Or
maybe Huey Lewis.
Yeah, I think it was Huey Lewis. Also, the news was there.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I can't remember who he knocked out in that.
I posted the article, so it's there.
Do they have the who Muhammad Ali knocked out in that famous picture?
I would imagine so. It's probably in there.
Sonny Liston. Sonny Liston is who he knocked out in that famous picture.
So
not Joe Frazier, whose son is dope at Big Brother.
He's on Big Brother.
Maybe I'm not caught up. I mean, dude, the one episode where he went after Tiffany was.
Well,
he went straight gangster.
I mean, that's just him as a person, though. Yeah. Which doesn't make him dope at Big Brother. I mean, he's still a dope in the game. Hey, being a dope dude doesn't make you dope at Big Brother. Anyway, the people don't
Turn
care.
into our Big Brother podcast.
Yeah.
You can find us 3 days a week at weird times.
The biggest brother is what it'll be called.
I like it.
So awesome. That's so awesome. There are so many folks that think that, I mean, there are so many arguments to be made of the greatest boxer of all time. I personally
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, but I mean, it depends on what you're talking about.
I think it's one of those things where when
Mike Tyson was scary.
Yeah, I get that, but when even Mike Tyson comes out and says it's not even close, Muhammad Ali every day of the week.
Personally, I agree, but
yeah, Mike Tyson, I believe, is the second greatest of all time, and everyone else, it's like when Mike Tyson literally said he was like, listen, I might be strong, I might be a little fast, but there is not a world, and he was like, there's not a world in which I could beat Muhammad Ali.
I think there's a difference and I mean, honestly, as far as boxing goes, it's hard to argue that Floyd Mayweather isn't up there. I don't like the guy. I think he's terrible.
He's a great boxer. I think
he knows how to win boxing matches.
I mean, I think he's great, and that's one of those things when people say, "Oh, who would win in their prime?" Let's be honest here. The sweet science of boxing is different now than it was.
It's different eras.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, that is
Floyd is so good at winning.
Ali was the greatest overall boxer of all time. I think that, I don't know if you agree with it, Mike Tyson was the scariest boxer to have to go up and face of all time.
Oh, without it. Listen, I would, if you told me for $5 million I had to go get in the ring with Muhammad Ali, I would do it.
Yeah.
If you told me for $5 million I had to get in the ring with Mike Tyson, I would do it, but I would contemplate it. I would be like, I would be scared for my life.
Yeah. If they said the $5 million can go to your next of kin.
Yeah, it's $5 million after my medical bills. So $10 million.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he was just a scary guy. I agree that Ali. I never argued that either. I just wanted to say, like, there are arguments to be said.
One thing that a lot of people don't recognize about Mike Tyson is the fact that he's humble, but he knows what's real. I don't like it when dudes who know that they're the best or almost the best try to be humble, like, oh, I'm not. It's like Mike Tyson says, listen, I know I'm the best, all right, but Muhammad Ali, he's the greatest of all time.
He floated like a butterfly, stung like a bee, okay?
I just like to think that like in 5 seconds, he's just going to bust open this door. It's like, what do you say about me?
We'll be like, look, this is now a 4-person podcast.
Yeah.
Brandon, Bobby, George Clooney, and Mike Tyson.
What a great lineup.
Honestly, it would be the greatest podcast of all time. We got so much going on. We're very similar people, and we try to argue about stuff even that we agree with. But I would like to think that Mike Tyson and George Clooney would be at each other's throats,
but also like in a best friends way.
Exactly.
Like not aggressive, but
like honestly, like we would get phased out of the podcast, and it would become a 2-person podcast again with George
Clooney and Mike Tyson.
Like, and they're coming to my home like every day.
And what are you gonna say? No.
Like I'm just gonna stand in the back. I guess we're producers now, Bobby. Like, we're really gonna have to crank up the Pucks Up entertainment port, and then they just take over everybody else's podcast that we bring on board. They're like, "This is my Mayday beer now."
Joe Rogan, it's mine now. Anyway, so an Olympic gold medalist will be given a new medal after the mayor of her hometown chomped on the first one. Mayor Takashi Kamura chomped on Miao Goto's medal at an event a couple weeks ago, and I guess he left teeth marks, I guess, or it was just because of COVID. He put his mouth all over it, so the Olympic Committee sending a new one. That's just.
Honestly, though, is this one of those situations where, like when they mess up your food at a restaurant and they let you keep the food that they messed up?
Oh, she has to send the medal back. I read that.
That's lame. I was thinking that this guy that bid it got to keep it. And then he's like, yeah, I got a gold medal. I didn't win it, but I have a gold medal. I think that would have been cool. Like, why you got to send it back, dude? Like, that's stupid. She should get 2 gold medals for this.
The term germ medal was trending on social media in Japan after that.
What is that guy even thinking? Like, he's like, oh, is this real gold?
The 72-year-old mayor apologized later for his actions, which reportedly prompted over 7,000 complaints to the city authorities.
I feel like Japan needs to get it together. Why are you guys complaining? It's not that big of a deal. Like, she won the medal. They're going to get her a new one. Let this old dude keep this gold medal.
Apparently, the biggest issue is less the germs and more that biting medals is a tradition among the winner. That it's something the winner does. They bite it. But so someone else who didn't win it is, lacks tradition.
Yeah, I guess. I guess Japan is very traditional. Now, you think at 72, he would have either been like, at this point, he's like, I don't care about traditions anymore. Or, known it. So maybe he hated this girl and he wanted to disrespect her.
All right, moving into our main topic of the day. We got big news. We teased it earlier in the show.
The biggest of news. Basically what we got into the podcast game for.
Pucks Out beer. It's coming to you soon. We'll be teaming up with our great sponsor, Mayday Brewery, to craft. We will actually be crafting it ourselves with Ozzy and the team there at Mayday.
We're gonna make it.
It'll be. I think we haven't decided, but I'm thinking. I'm thinking a good New England Pale Ale, something that's still a little hoppy, but not too not too strong.
Yeah, I think it just flows the best.
Yeah,
Pucks Out Pale Ale.
Yeah,
and we can put on their New England style or whatever.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I think we will get that scheduled. We'll probably have a release party. And it's going to be a great time. So come on out whenever that happens. Buy some so that they can restock it, and it can be eventually a mainstay.
Eventually they get some artwork on it. We get to have the old Pucks Out.
Until then, we'll probably be slapping some stickers on them.
Oh, slapping the heck out of some stickers, dude. Because honestly, it's going to sell big time from our peoples. My
mom's going to buy all of it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we're going to get to keep stocking this again, and nobody in the world will have ever had it but us and your mother.
Yeah.
But no, that's literally when Ozzy offered this, it
blew my mind.
It's literally our dream.
Yeah.
We don't have many dreams.
He literally said, guys, I can make 2 things happen right now. World peace or your own beer. Didn't even think about it for a second.
It was, we asked why he said world peace first.
Yeah.
if we're being honest.
Like immediately our own beer.
World peace would mean that everybody is chill and probably not listening to a controversial podcast.
But it also means that there's no Pucks Out beer. And that's not a world I want to live in.
And honestly, the peace would not last because I would create chaos.
Yeah.
if I knew we chose one over the other. Honestly, though, it is. I keep joking about it. It's literally why we got in this game, but no, it's not. But now it is.
Yeah.
Now it is the only thing I can think about and dream about is having my own beer, man.
Yeah, I mean, I remember thinking back, a little bit before we started this show, I was attempting to homebrew my own mead, and it went not great. But now
We have a professional brewery wanting to hook us up.
I'm so excited.
Me too. It's literally the main topic on our. We don't have a lot more to say about it. We could just keep talking about how excited we were, but we didn't.
Sorry,
have
that sound was my rock hard erection hitting the table.
That was that was not hard enough. If we're being honest, okay. Fifthly, guys, that's super dope. That
Thanks,
was
Mike.
No, I am jazzed up about it, and it could have been any beer. If he was like, "We're gonna make a seltzer," I'd have been like, "Make it." Okay, put my name on a can somewhere. If you can dream it, if you can think it, you can dream it. Or whatever it is.
George,
Whatever that
what do you
saying
have to
is.
say about this?
Let's go, boys.
Oh,
Thanks.
George! My boy George. Always hitting us with them inspirational pieces.
What do I want? I want more.
You heard it.
George wants more. Okay, George, we got you. We got to get.
We're
in
gonna
there.
get a cease and desist in the mail. It'd be
Honestly,
great. Frame it.
Are you kidding? That's gonna make the Instagram blow up, dude. We'll do it with the picture of the beer. Like,
Yeah.
bro, sorry.
Photoshopping them in all of our pictures.
Sorry, you didn't want more, Georgie. All right. Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
Any no-hitters?
Yes, and yes. Tyler Gilbert.
No, just one yes. There was just one.
Well, that was the Chicago Cubs who got the multiple yeses, but we don't count that. So
we don't count it.
Tyler Gilbert hits an MLB record, or not hits, I guess. Lack of hits in this case. Tyler Gilbert has a lack of hits for
Almost spit daddy's money everywhere.
That sounds like a sexual thing. It was. Tyler Gilbert throws the MLB's record-breaking 8th no-hitter of the season. Now, for us on this show, that is number 7. We do not count the combined no-hitters, but
we do not.
For you seasoned listeners out there, you know about the water bet. We've got a 7 over. If it is 8 or more, I win. If it is 6 or less, Brandon wins. If it's 7, nobody.
Yeah.
Are we both losers or are we both winners?
We're both winners because there's no what.
Do we want to change that to we're both losers?
Let's change it. Let's do it.
Boom.
Shake on the pod. George, You saw that?
I don't know if I need to see if I can find a sound for that.
George he's holding tight.
Maybe
here.
this.
It's a reverse big store. Doesn't matter if we win.
I don't know. There's a bunch
No.
on here.
He
There's
agrees though. He's shaking his head. Yes. Thank you, George. We got to get a George Clooney
I gotta go.
cardboard
I actually got because
cutout.
some of these I have not listened to. I just see the title, so I'm like, I don't know. Maybe this one's not bad.
I had a great group of friends who I met the first year I got there.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks. I don't know about had though. You still have.
That's super rude, George. We don't appreciate that.
Anyway, so Tyler Gilbert for the Padres throws the 8th of the season, but 7th for us.
So currently, we've both gone from tires to both losers at the current moment, which is an interesting. I am looking up George Clooney cardboard cutouts, which they do have.
Oh, there's actually a custom one where we can send our picture in, and I think we can actually how it works is I can send in a picture, and they can do 3 people, so I can Photoshop him in between us. And I can maybe do a 4-person with Mike Tyson and George Clooney between us, and that can just be sitting there. And they're like life size. They're like 6 feet.
That is amazing. This one's only like $55 to get a George Clooney.
Is it from a movie like promo, or is it just him?
I think it's him on the red carpet.
We should find one of him from Ocean's 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll do some research.
Yeah.
We probably shouldn't do it now, but
No,
people are like, wow. The episode
weird.
The episode was good, but there was like 20 minutes of you guys just looking up George Clooney cutouts.
all right, let's move on
So,
to joke of the week.
Congrats to both of us for us being both losers now.
The weird. Corey Perry. See, I don't like this. Wild. I think the first read was a good one. Now I'm overthinking it. Outlandish. Each sixth chick sat on a stick. Little tongue twister. And downright dumb.
You're kidding me.
It's time for the joke of the week.
This is amazing. What you got?
Georgia County considers limiting the number of dollar stores. Now, I don't know.
In one Georgia County, not Georgia County. In a county in Georgia.
In one, yeah.
Okay.
In a Georgia county.
Okay. I thought, well, because
sure.
I didn't know if it was like a county named Georgia. It's
I
fine.
may have said it. In one county in Georgia, they're considering placing a limit on dollar stores that are rapidly multiplying in the area. All I can picture is the South Park episode where Cartman allows stem cell, goes and like fights for stem cells to be legal so he could make his own, what was it, Shakey's Pizza or something like that, right next to it. The first line is they're placing a limit on dollar stores that are rapidly multiplying in the area. They pushed back the meeting during a recent meeting when presented with the zoning request to approve a Dollar General store. So I don't know where, at an intersection where there's already a Family Dollar store across the street. So it is the whole dollar store community that is being hit.
Yeah.
The commissioner said, I just think there's one on every corner, who suggested a moratorium on such discount retailers. But honestly, if they're pushing it back and they're multiplying so rapidly, by the time they get to this meeting, there's going to be like 30 new Dollar General / Family Dollar / Dollar Trees.
This is the weirdest version of The Walking Dead.
Also, I guess everything's a dollar. Can you think of any more dollar-esque stores? We've talked Family Dollar. We've talked Dollar Tree.
Dollar General.
99
Below.
Okay, yeah, that's not a very popular one down here.
There's one in Murfreesboro.
There's one though. It's not.
Well, it's part of the family.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying it's not very popular down south.
I'm sure there's a.
Yeah, dollar, and just for those at home that are not aware, that are not familiar, Dollar Tree, everything is $1, whereas Dollar General, everything is generally $1. It's not $1. Like you go to Dollar Tree, you spend $30, you get 30 items. Okay, well plus tax. So, he's concerned.
There is Dollar General Market. There is.
We're not looking for versions of the Dollar General.
No, Dollar General Market is a different thing.
It's a whole different.
Does that mean?
Type of deal.
So I'm just wondering. Does that mean there's also a Dollar Sergeant, Dollar Lieutenant, Dollar 5-star General,
Dollar Admiral?
Yeah, Dollar Private.
I do not know. You're the one that's looking this stuff up. But Commissioner Jones thinks. I just think there's everyone on every.
Did we get Family Dollar?
We did.
Okay.
That was the battle because there's a new Dollar General coming up across the street from this.
Family Dollar.
Just think that there's one on every corner, said Commissioner Anthony Jones, who suggested the moratorium. I may have already said that. I'm just so blown away by the. Jones is concerned that these stores are taking up space that could go to higher quality stores, such as supermarkets that sell fresh food. He and Commissioner Russell Gray both said they're also worried that dollar stores have a business model that prey on poor neighborhoods. You're in Georgia, man. Like what? I mean,
that's what the state of Georgia was founded on. Preying on poor people.
That's capitalism, baby. There are valid concerns about dollar stores, but questioned whether higher end retailers would even take the point.
It is. I will notice something.
They're planning on. They're really trying to bring the Coach store in right across from the Family Dollar store. That's the problem here.
They're just going to be like, okay, we're the $1.99 store.
It's not like there's a Whole Foods market or a Publix market that's moving into those neighborhoods. Cohilas said.
But I do know that, like in Shelbyville, for example, and I know this because I'm from there. There was a.
You're not from there. You live there.
I live there.
Please don't denigrate yourself like that.
Hey George, don't look at me like that. There was a battle, and of course the Dollar Tree. There wanted to be a Mexican market that wanted to open up in a spot, and they got vote, and they went to a vote, and it ended up going to Dollar Tree. Now there was one like 3 miles to the east. There's one like 3 miles to the west. There's one like right across the street. And they're like, we just, there are only like 2 Mexican markets in Shelby, that I know of. There might be more.
That's I mean, I'm not familiar with the amount of Mexican markets normal places, but it seems like a lot for the small town of Shelbyville.
It's not. I mean, well, it's a Shelbyville has that in a very, very large Hispanic community. Also very large.
Oh no, I'm not. Again, I'm not denigrating any race. I'm just saying 2 seems like a lot.
They're always whenever I drive
area.
by them, they are like lines out the door, which tells me that there needs to be the
There
demand
needs
is
to be
high.
the third.
You know what I never see a line out of? The dollar stores.
Well,
Never
that's
seen a
because
line.
you're in and out. You just walk through and you just pull everything onto your shelf because you can buy whatever you want there because it's $1.
I will say that. So this past weekend, I went to a dollar store right near your house, and I waited in line for a pretty good time to get ice. And probably 6 people in front of me. I get all the way from like, hey, can I get 3 bags of ice? He said, sure, go look to see if there's any in there. And I said, will do. Get back. She's taking the next person. I got to get back in line. You know what I didn't do? Didn't fucking do it. I stood. I went up.
Oh yeah.
I
you
went up.
you are in line at that point.
And now luckily she looked at me. I looked at the guy next in line, and luckily he was like, nah, dude, you're good.
Yeah.
And she was like, what do you need? I'm like, oh, you know what I need.
Still the ice.
I was heated. I wasn't as heated as I'm making it sound. It was more of like
honestly,
it was
no.
a sweet old lady. And I was like, oh, yeah, sorry.
Honestly, I was wondering what took you guys so long because when we were in contact, we were still checking out at another local chain that apparently could be taking dollar store places. And it was still a good 20 minutes before we passed this store of which they had the dollar, and we see you guys still there. We're like, dude, were they just kicking it in there? Were they just hanging out?
No, it was pretty annoying.
It sounds exactly.
And one of the people in front of me, she decided to have a conversation with her about. She was like, so I'm going to come back in a couple of days and get some more lottery tickets.
She doesn't care.
She's like, now, can you help me figure out what kind of cigarettes I want? I want to quit, but I want to change brands, and I think that'll help me quit. And I'm thinking, that's insane.
That
seems like the opposite, actually.
You need to just go to the cheapest brand that's the most garbage.
Well, she's already on L&M's. Well, I mean,
there's not many below that, but there are a few. Okay, go to USA Golds, ma'am.
I did, honestly, and it's you ever find yourself in a situation where you think you're about to be on like a viral video because the woman was like, well, there's some Newports, and she was like, what do I look like to you? I was like, oh, is she gonna say it? Is she gonna say it?
Oh, you're getting your camera phone ready?
I was like, oh.
She said, what do I look like to you? A person that likes green packaging? You're like,
and I think she just like it was like more, and the woman was like, oh, okay, well, hey, I'm gonna help the next person because she already made it clear she's not buying right now. She's gonna come in later this week to buy cigarettes.
she's not even. She wasn't even. I thought she was coming later for the. She didn't even buy
tickets. She waited in line, got in to let the woman know, hey, I'm gonna, I was talking with my husband. I'm gonna buy some lottery tickets later.
Can you write this down?
And I'm like, they have to know each other. And even if they did know each other, where am I? What's happening?
Like
right
there's like you look behind them. You look behind them.
Am I having a stroke?
There is a whiteboard with a calendar of like, look, we can't check anybody out at 6:00 on a Tuesday because Stephanie's coming in, and I don't know why I said Stephanie. Stephanie's gonna be mad.
We're talking about Stephanie this whole time.
It was my fiance. Everybody, let's think of a more appropriate name for what I have to think that
Kyler.
This person was.
I don't know.
Was she younger?
Okay, she was clearly young, but very aged from many cigarettes.
Many cigarettes. Let's go with.
Have you seen that meth video of the trailer park?
Yes,
that was it.
I'm on point with it. Let's go with like a Heaven. She was named Heaven, and her parents had big aspirations for her, but no, Heaven is marked off for 6:00 on a Tuesday.
Their aspirations were GM, general manager at the BP. She's only like assistant manager. She lost that job because she's
on her third BP this month, but luckily there's a labor shortage, and she was just able to roll right into the next BP. So what a joke! Limiting the dollar stores.
Also, what a joke! The lady in front of me at the dollar store.
Yeah, you're the joke, Heaven. Okay, I am like imagining her, and I have to. I know we probably shouldn't.
I bet she looks exactly how you imagine.
I'm not trying to spend more time than necessary on this, but of course, the teeth A little yellowed.
If they were there, I didn't see them.
Okay. Did not see any teeth. She definitely had on a spaghetti strap shirt.
Yeah.
Okay. She also had on blue jean shorts that were cut off, clearly were made and not cut that way.
No, they were
in general.
full on jeans.
Oh, okay.
But
Flip flops, though.
Ooh, very close.
For
no
sure.
shoes.
Oh. Yes. Okay.
Which when I saw that, which was at the very end,
short ponytail.
Yes, yeah. When I saw the no shoes at the very end, because the whole time she was blocked, because like there was like a thing with like chips on it, so that blocked the view. And I saw at the end, I was like, well, that's clearly. Yeah.
The bra was definitely showing.
Maybe that I can't answer 100%, because by then I was already pretty irritated at the entire situation.
I love how I've guessed most.
Yeah.
I cannot believe I didn't see the no shoes coming though. That was an obvious answer. That was the obvious answer.
Yeah,
but that's my bad.
All right, Summer of Bond continues in a different way this week.
There's been a mistake.
Mistakes were made,
by
but
me,
also maybe
it was my mistake.
But maybe a blessing.
It was definitely a blessing. It was one of those mistakes.
And by that, we turned a mistake into a blessing.
It was one of those mistakes that happened that you're like, wow. It's like when when somebody has a kid.
So the movie for this week was Diamonds Are Forever, where Sean Connery comes back. Now, I was texting Brandon. I was making jokes about the video.
It was not making any sense.
And not making any sense to him. And we sit down, and when I got here, I made a couple. I told you where, because I had to finish it right before the thing. I told you where I was, and you kind of just like, huh? And then I thought to myself, did I spoil it for him? No, he was in front of me. That makes no sense. Sit down, and he's like, you like so. Live and Let Die.
I'm typing up the doc.
And I'm like, yeah, is that like the next movie we're doing? He's like, no, that's, and I was like, that.
So I watched Live and Let Die, which was Roger Moore's second Bond movie, but Bobby did do the homework.
So did you skip Roger Moore's first one also?
Oh, I've never seen Diamonds Are Forever and never
Diamonds Are Forever is not Roger Moore. So I think you watched Roger Moore's first.
Oh, Diamonds Are Forever
is Sean Connery.
Okay.
Sean Connery returned for this one.
Oh, that's so weird. I knew you said he returned. I thought he just came in as like a supporting role.
No, he was Bond in this. He was James Bond.
Sean Connery. Let me change the doc to make it appropriate. Okay, so Sean Connery's additional. So like we did the drinking game to not Sean Connery's last.
So I think what happened is he had gotten sick. This was actually a decent plot. And I think, he wanted to come back just because George Lazenby reneged on the deal. And he wanted to go out on a high note. This was actually...
He got stoned in it?
Yeah. This was actually a pretty good movie. There was some cool chase scene in Las Vegas. He went to Amsterdam. Very, I would say, a lot less rape. Almost no. Actually... Rape. You know what? They actually teased it. So it starts out, it's almost like a cold opening where he is literally going from like
kind of like Lazenby's first opening.
Yeah, he goes country to country, like interrogating people. Like he catches them and says, "Where's Blowfish or Blowgun or whatever, Blowfish, whatever his name is.
Where can somebody blow me?"
And so he like comes onto a beach and like his the James Bond romper that Sean Connery made famous.
The romps.
Yeah. And this,
everybody knows
this
Heaven wears it. Yeah,
this very attractive woman's like, "Oh, hello there. I've never seen you before. Would you like to have sex?" And he's like, "Yes." And immediately, like, he's like, "Let me just get this off you," and like chokes her out with the bikini top and is like, "Where's Blowfish?" And she's like, "I can't answer you." He's like, you can see him thinking, he's like, "Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
And immediately, and so he goes and he finds, and it's like, oh, he didn't actually end up raping her. Just assault.
Didn't even sexual.
Just some casual James Bond assault. But hey, you know what?
Assault is, he has a license to kill. There's assault
this
that is going to be.
And like, he didn't leave it. He didn't hit her. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's a bikini. Like, even if you squeeze that thing.
It's loose. It's very loose. Heaven was wearing one at the dollar.
It's the implication.
So how was it?
It was a very good movie. It was like most of them, it was kind of slow in the first third of it. The bad guy was cool. There was some really...
Marty McFly's father, I've heard.
No, Marty McFly's grandfather, because it's George McFly's dad.
George McFly's dad.
Yeah, and it was I'm watching, I'm like, that's George McFly. Looks just like him. Look it up. It's actually the actor who played George McFly, his dad. Back to the Future is not in the same universe as James Bond. For those of you that are
We
home.
don't know that it's not, though.
Never
considered it.
Yeah,
It's
never
not been considered.
it. Maybe Back to the Future is an Anne Fleming classic.
That's we don't know for sure.
Yeah. But no, I liked it. And when I'm watching it, there was a lot of scenes that I remember seeing before, and I remember now this was actually my dad's favorite James Bond.
Okay.
And I can see why. It was actually very good. James Bond was definitely an older. Sean Connery was old in his older years, which is weird to think because this is 1971 and he died 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So, but he was still starting to show his age in this one. Some cool action scenes. A helicopter fight. What they called a midget submarine, which is just it's a small submarine. I was like, I feel like they didn't need to throw.
So no sexual assault, but they're throwing at little people. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the bad guy was decent. There was like another really creepy secondary bad guy who got killed at the very, very end.
Yeah.
Which was George McFly's dad.
Okay.
I think his name is Bruce Glover, I believe, or
Okay.
Grover.
He was Donald Glover's dad.
Yes.
Okay.
All the same universe. This is in the same universe as Atlanta.
Well, he's not Donald Glover in that universe.
Well, the actor. And that is in the same universe as it's the multiverse,
Community.
Bro. It's in the MCU.
It's in Community.
It's all the MCU. Also, the same universe as Die Hard because the other Glover.
I would say maybe I'll watch it, but I will not.
I won't watch it. I wouldn't. I don't suggest you watching it. I know when we started this, maybe we'll make this. Try to get the other one to watch it. I'm not going to do that to you.
Thank you.
I am interested.
I'm not going to do that.
I am interested in watching Live and Let Die because it is Roger Moore's first, and I remember seeing the Voodoo one a couple times.
Again, it wasn't bad. I didn't dislike it.
Oh, before you start.
Okay, yeah, you got more.
I can't remember her name. Something O'Toole was her last name. Oh, Plenty of Tool. Plenty O'Toole. She was like, "Hi, I'm Plenty," and he's like, "I bet you are." And she's like, "Can I blow you?" Oh, on your dice. He's at the craps table.
Yeah,
and of course, yeah, obviously. And she
wasn't talking about the dice.
Yeah, no, not at all. And so she had just got done leaving a guy because he lost all of his money at the craps table. So she immediately saw him and was like, "Oh." And so she is just.
I ain't saying she a gold
Some of
digger.
the worst acting I've ever seen in my life comes from Plenty O'Toole. And so they go back to his hotel room. Gonna do it. Clearly
going to Bone Town.
So, but there are assassins in there, as we expect.
Yep.
And she gets thrown out the window and into the pool. And it the ease at which and Sean Connery's like, good aim. And the assassins now, who are all chummy with him, they're like, "Oh, there's 6 of us." And he's like, "I didn't know there was a pool down there." And I was like, "Okay, that's pretty funny. That's pretty good." And he's like, "Oh." He's like, "Okay, well, I'm going to kill you now." And so he is, by fight, he literally knocks him in the nose, pushes him down, turns around, and this now 5 guys with guns on him. He's like, "Cool. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to go back to your boss, or I'm going to kill you all." And they're like, "Okay." I'm like,
Just seems like just kill him. At that point.
Shoot him. Shoot. You were assassins.
Why has everybody always got to kill the greatest spy on Earth with some weird way?
Yeah.
Just put a gun to old boy's head and blow. Don't you want to make sure he's dead?
I would have loved if this movie opened up with "Diamonds Are Forever." Diamonds are forever.
Diamonds are not dead. Something like that.
I mean, but the craziest thing was how the bad guy's plot was to throw a satellite up in the air. And he stole a satellite, threw it up in the air, was blowing up nuclear bombs in America and Russia, and he was holding the world hostage with his satellite.
Okay.
A la Austin Powers. And his way of doing it was sending a signal by playing a specific type of cassette tape. And he had to have 18 different cassette tapes to do it. But while he is telling James Bond his plan, as you do,
you gotta tell it.
James Bond is just
the plan.
James Bond's like, "So I can just press this button and eject a tape." And he goes, click, and the tape flies. And he's like, "Please put that back in, James."
Oh my goodness. You've ruined my plan to destroy
and so
the
clearly,
Earth.
Instead of sending, guards to do it, to make sure it all is done, because clearly you were dealing with this is a very particular process.
Right.
He's like, "James, put that back in." James reaches down and obviously switches out the tapes, puts it in. But now he's like, "All right, you're going to go back to your cell. Hey, so just to be safe, let's search him again, make sure he doesn't have anything on him." He's got a tape on him now. And so what he does, he goes up to one of the Bond girls and is sneaks it into her panties, the tape.
Yeah.
She takes that as, "Oh, I need to put this tape back into the cassette thing because this is the bad one." So he goes out, does a fight. She's like, James, I switched the tape. He's like, oh, you twat, that was the wrong one. And you can tell, I feel like he just wanted a backhander, but the director was like, you got to stop doing that. This is 18 takes now. You stop backhanding.
He's like, we've had to get 13 new actresses because they are beaten to a pulp.
Yeah. This is the 70s.
Sean, please stop beating the actresses.
You can implicate. You can't actually do it. This is not the 60s anymore.
So, I mean, it doesn't sound bad. It sounds.
So tell me a little bit about Live and Let Die, Roger Moore's first one.
Yeah, it was pretty good. We went to one of our favorite cities on earth, New Orleans.
Awesome.
There was some New Orleans involved. We got to meet Quarrel's son. You may remember that from Dr. No.
Yeah.
Oh, Quarrel. He died from the dragon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. His son, we got to meet him.
Does he have like a lifelong vendetta against dragons?
It didn't seem like it. He was napping on the boat whenever.
I mean,
dragons
can't get you on the water.
But they had already killed like 3 or 4 of the secret agents across the world. One in like New York, one in New Orleans. Again, I was paying attention about as much as I needed to have a brief description of the movie. But there was a voodoo aspect to it. There was a tarot card reader, and she was involved. Not a lot of sexual assault, but there was some banging. He did almost get this poor girl killed because she was supposed to remain flowered. And because this girl's family had been part of this bad guy's plot for years, they tell the future for him, type of deal. Felix was back, the CIA guy.
Felix was in this one too.
It was a different Felix, though.
Oh, different Felix.
Yeah. So I don't know if that was the
Felix
same
is also
Felix
just
from the original.
Felix is also just a
code name.
Yeah.
The CIA really needs to update that name, but
yeah.
But he.
I feel like it's been so long. The name's starting to come back around now.
He sent almost like a rookie asset agent, to James Bond for assistance, and on the boat with Quarrel, she almost killed Quarrel Jr. She saw him. He was, getting the boat stuff ready, and it was a rope, and he was behind James, and she come out gun.
Oh, she didn't know he was.
She didn't know he was the ally.
Okay.
And I mean, James was like, "Oh, this is my buddy Quarrel Jr." and whatever. And Quarrel was like, "Oh," she was like, "I'm so sorry. I could have killed you." He was like, "No worries. You didn't even have the safety off of this gun." She was not helpful. She died pretty early on. There was like a double and triple of the same guy. It wasn't bad. It was not bad. It was a good.
They had that same aspect in Diamonds Are Forever.
Yeah, it was. They were doing some voodoo thing, and they were killing. They were going to kill. They were going to kill Solitaire. Was the girl's name?
Not a
Bond girl. She was the tarot card reader.
Oh, she wasn't the Bond girl then, was she?
Yeah, I think she was supposed to be the Bond girl. They banged.
Okay.
For sure. He deflowered her.
Yeah.
I thought I mentioned that.
I didn't know which one he deflowered.
When he was in Louisiana, he went back because he knew it was important because somebody got murdered there. But he was like on Bourbon Street type of deal. Like, and when the guy got murdered originally, it was a second line for a funeral. And that's when the guy got murdered, and they went back. Because he knew it was important because a guy got murdered there. Well, he got captured by the bad guy. He then was again just shoot him, but he was going to get fed to crocodiles.
Love it.
Yeah, he was going to get fed to crocodiles, and he escaped. Obviously, the spy gadget was a watch that had like a mag. It's so lucky.
These sounds like amazing movies. Like, how did these not win awards?
It's so lucky that the watch always happens to have the one thing that is necessary for the movie, because it turned into a magnet and he's able to pull things to him. So
Also
he
great
escaped.
at wiping VHS tapes.
He's escaped the crocodile thing. Started a fire opened the cage for the crocodiles and let them into the building that they were in. It was a shack of some sort. Started a fire, and then there was a large-scale boat chase, and there was a Sheriff Pepper, who was a major hillbilly redneck, and there was a large-scale boat chase that was involved. He commandeered his own deputy's car to continue the chase because his got hit by a boat. The Louisiana State Police were involved. He caused his brother-in-law.
Didn't they have that same plot point in George Lazenby's one where he jumped over the berm in the boat?
Yeah, I'm sure that they're pretty much all the same movie. They just recycle these.
Yeah.
I'm not just bringing up the other ones. So the sheriff, who now the state police are involved, they said, well, we're not going to be able to get a boat in fast enough. He's the sheriff of that small town, calls his brother-in-law Billy Bob.
But he's busy chasing the Dukes.
He was not. He was ready, except for one of the henchmen happened to be at the location at this. It's the fastest boat in the area. He happened to be at the location, knocked Billy Bob over the head, and over the radio, the sheriff told him where James Bond was heading. And so, he takes off after them. And then, it just continues.
Yeah.
He gets the bad guy. It was the big action
As one
scene.
I would expect.
It was the big action scene. There was also some paragliding.
Love it.
Which was involved.
Wow. These sound like just thrilling movies. And I've never been happier that we're doing
two at a time.
Culture. Yeah.
2 at a time.
I'm ready for that Austin Powers cleanser.
Yeah.
But let's jump in.
Can't come soon enough because we love Mike Myers so much and not because we have a major distaste for these movies.
Yeah. Let's jump into questions from the internet. You've got some cards for us. Let's hit it.
I've got some cards. I'm going to shuffle them up. You already know what they're going to be. So the order
some of them,
is going to be random. All right. First one. What are your top 3 gas station snacks of all time?
Beef jerky.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and agree on beef jerky.
I'm like thinking because I usually don't go much more than that.
I know.
Just food, right? Not drinks. Or we're not.
Yeah. No, we're not. We're snacking. We're snacking.
Cool Ranch Doritos.
Okay.
And then,
and I'm assuming that this is for a road trip, right?
Not just like
not just what you would buy at a gas station.
Like for a road trip.
Beef jerky, I agree with. I'm in on it.
Yeah. I like Cool Ranch because then it doesn't get my hands all ridiculously red on everything in the car.
Sure. Cool Ranch are good.
Just a, usually they don't have a lot of gas stations have different selections of trail mix, but usually I'll just get a good trail mix with a good, nothing like
very similar to my second choice, which was going to be traditional Chex Mix.
Yeah.
Or cheddar Chex Mix. Either or. I'm not picky. Depends on the situation. I want to get I'm going to add in, and this is a tough choice I'm between 2 because beef jerky's a must. Chex Mix is a must. And then it situationally depends on if I'm driving. Okay, this is the answer right here. If I'm driving, the answer is Skittles.
Okay.
If I'm passenger, the answer is a king size Twix.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of doing candy while on road. I don't know why. But I like more salty.
Okay, yeah. Well, see, I mixed that in.
Yeah,
with my, But see, when I'm driving, I like something to do.
Yeah.
And so that's why I like to pour the Skittles. But if I'm not driving,
sunflower seeds is a good one too.
Sunflower seeds are obviously
that keeps
but
you
I wouldn't consider it a top 3 snack.
No, definitely not a top 3, but it's usually something I'll get as well. It's my number 4.
All right, your favorite sunflower seed. Go.
Ooh, man, they're always changing. I tried pickle one time, not great.
Pickle are okay.
They're dependent. I tried Old Bay. They're
okay unique. As well. They're not.
I like barbecue, to be honest.
Barbecue is
Ranch are my favorite though.
Ranch are great. Have you tried the jalapeno? Those are good. See, the thing
When I was working
is,
at
on
Whiskey
a
Dicks,
road
I
trip,
did a lot of sunflower.
on a road trip, Daisy sunflower seeds are a must.
Yeah.
You can't get the big. Big are not flavorful enough
do Daisy,
to get you.
100%.
Daisy are completely. It's one of the few items that I'm like, oh, the name brand is 100% clearly superior.
Yeah. But next one.
All right.
Running a little bit over, but we got.
We're going to fly through this. This one's going to be easy because I think we both have the same answer. Could you successfully steal a base in the MLB if you had 100 attempts?
Clearly.
No.
Yeah. No. Okay, this is not this. Let's look at this. This is if you had 100 attempts, are you saying that at some point there's not going to be an error 1 out of 100 times? All you need is one error and you're on that base. One error is all you need and you're on base.
Yeah, I don't think so. 90 feet's a long. Have you ever seen those catchers gun somebody down?
Yeah, but I've also seen a good bit of times where, they overthrow.
Yeah, well, they don't even have to speedily get up and throw us out, though.
Well, I'm saying yes. Okay. Yeah, I'm saying yeah.
I am faster than you, and I'm saying no. But
we've never tested that.
Do you want to go out and race right now?
Not today after drinking beer. We'll plan one. I'll bring some sneakers.
I will dust you in a foot race.
I'm not a speed guy, but all I'm saying is that we've never tested it.
We have never tested it. That's got to be some content.
I have not ran in a long time.
So you're challenging me to a foot race.
Listen, we'll do it.
Okay. Maybe if there's an error.
Yeah. Listen, obviously, if it's no error, then clearly not. Most MLB players have a heart or on the
That's
cusp.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, clearly. I was looking at clearly from the point of view as well. Are you asking me if there's going to be an error 1 out of 100, like just once?
Yeah. It's a maybe if there's an error, but
Yeah.
Probably not ever happen if we had 100 chances.
If there's maybe a guy on a different base.
Oh,
and
he's trying to steal. They're trying to gun him out.
So that's what we're looking at here.
Then yes, I've changed my mind. If a guy's trying to steal home.
It never specified in a non-game situation. It could be a game. So maybe a guy's trying to steal home.
We're still foot racing, dude.
I mean, we know how that's going to end up. But I'm saying
it would be like us doing
science,
a bench pressing contest.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, you'd beat me in that.
Yeah.
But we could do it if you want to. Okay. Funniest names for a fantasy football team.
Ooh, that's I didn't know about this one. This one puts me on the spot. I don't know, man. I've never been great at naming them. I always need time to sit down.
I am always pretty decent at naming them. I always do the Hoosier Daddies, but spelled like Hoosier. Bill Cosby's Sleepers. That's one of my frequent favorites.
I'm less funny and more punny.
Yeah.
So, but I always have to think about them. I love my one Tariq Hill.
One Tariq Hill is
one
great.
Of my favorites. I have the White Welkers.
I am super pumped always because my keeper league.
Call Throgo is a good one I like.
Call Throgo was really good. A Team with No Name was really good. One of my favorites that I use every year in our keeper league, Rudy was offsides. I know it's mostly because it just wears you out. He was offsides.
I agree though. He was offsides.
He was offsides. I always try to have a little bit of a funny. But it is also dependent on year. So but Bill Cosby Sleepers is my dynasty league name. Oh, one of my other dynasty leagues, Robert Kraft's Day Spa.
That's a good one.
So yeah, I mean, send us your funny fantasy football team name so
100%.
we can steal it.
Bobby and Brandon are about to find out exactly what snaps their sticks.
All right. This is one. This actually happened when I was on the way to the live show. This is a non-sports one. I understand that we have to share the road with motorcyclists, and it's important to, it's part of the responsibility of driving a car is you share the responsibility with motorcyclists to watch out. But
it's a two-sided sword.
No, 100%. However, if you're being a dick motorcyclist and doing dangerous stuff, don't give me a look like I'm the one.
What up, bro? You almost hit me while I was doing a wheelie.
I'm in the exit. I'm in the lane for the exit. Going maybe 3 over the speed limit. I'm with the flow of traffic. This dude on a motorcycle just gets right in front of me and immediately stomps on his brake and his brake lights are out. And so I have to stomp on mine to avoid hitting this guy. And then we get down the spiral exit, we get down and and he looks at me like I'm a dick for almost hitting. I'm like, bro, you know that you're on a motorcycle. First off, get your fucking brake light fixed.
And second off,
don't just merge into
you
in front of me.
You gotta be a safer driver because accidents happen. I'm not saying that accidents don't happen.
I'm not gonna get hurt in this.
I'm going to win. Dude, you are going to hit the pavement. Even if it's your fault, you're at risk of dying, and I'm not.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I am 100% in agreement with that. Mine, I'm going to do it real quick because we're running over. The way the MLB handles no-hitters, I think it should be if you don't pitch 9 innings, you don't get a no-hitter. I don't like a team no-hitter. And it rained really hard, and apparently my pool skimmer has become the meeting place for a frog orgy. And I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate things that hop in directions that I cannot tell they're going to do it. So really any reptile is terrible. They're slimy. I can't really pick them up. I don't
Jumping
want to.
spiders.
So I've left the skimmer open in hopes that they will go on their way. But if they do not, the war will
You just
ensue.
made it easier. Now they got they're cycling out that musk, that frog sex musk is now out of there. And so they're like, oh, we got our second win now.
Maybe so. But they are. Look, I have gotten rid of the
carpet. They didn't roast
the war. My war with carpenter bees is now over. But if they want to make this a frog war, we can do it. What's up, bro?
And now your watch continues.
I haven't had time to do it yet, but
I can bring a shop back on Saturday.
Let's do it. I mean, I'm if I don't have a clear,
they won't kill him.
I'm gonna get gloves on and stuff, and I'm gonna handle the situation. If not, but I mean, bring the shop back because I just want them to know I mean business. Just like the racket, this is my weapon.
It's the implication.
Choice, okay, I'm giving you your opportunity. Yeah. It was rainy, but get out of here, buddy.
All right, guys, we will see you next week.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Pucks Out Podcast. To see what other ridiculousness the guys are up to, check them out on Twitter and Instagram @PucksOutPod.